What's up everyone, Morey Croson here from the Performance Lab in California. Today I was going over Gait with one of my clients and it made me think, this is another great opportunity for a member video. So today we're gonna go over Gait, and that is essentially how you walk, right? We were kind of making the joke where it's like, hey look, you're gonna be able to walk again all by yourself. Or look at you walking all by yourself, right? Just because it's something that we do every single day, but so many of us are not doing it correctly, and it's causing the dysfunction that we're feeling specifically in the lower body, okay? And so if we can really hone in on the correct mechanics in the gait cycle, it doesn't have to be perfect, but if we can think about some of the things that can be causing potential pain and ensuring that each one of our steps are very meticulously thought out, it'll really make it a big difference in not only your ability to resist pain, but it'll also really help you on the performance side as well. So we'll get right into it. So the big thing with when you're walking is one of the biggest mistakes that I see is when you land, it should be, your heel should really hit the ground first. It's more the back part of your foot. So it should be heel down first, then you transition to the outside part of your foot, or like the pinky, and then you transition from there into your big toe. Okay, then I'm gonna go right on to the next step, land with my heel, transition to my pinky, come on to the inside part of the foot on the big toe, come right through. Okay, as I'm doing this, I don't want to, when I first land, allow myself to immediately come into collapsing of the arch. Okay, that's another big thing that we'll see that's going to cause plantar fasciitis, that's going to cause problems within, shin splints, things with Achilles. So make sure when you're landing, when you're walking, you want to land, have a little bit more weight on the outside part of the foot, land with the heel first, transition through the pinky toe onto the big toe. Okay, next thing is when you're taking each one of the steps, you really want to feel your weight shift from one side to the other. So I land with my heel, all my weight's on my right side here. Okay, I'm landing with my heel, I'm allowing my weight to transfer to the outside as my pinky toe is getting more firm into the ground, and then from there I allow all of my weight to come onto my left toe, and I'm just going to go and step with my pinky toe. Okay, that's going to be really a big thing to understand, is how do I want to go from one step to the other. Okay, well, I'm going to give you some examples of what people do that's not the right thing, okay? Very commonly, you're going to have people stepping out to the side. Okay, now what this is going to do is it's going to make it so, just like what I said, you're going to go and allow your, the inside part of your ankle or foot to just collapse right on into the ground, which is going to make it so, again, you're going to increase your chance for ankle problems, but, just by walking like this, you're also increasing your chance of having problems with the outside part of the hips. Also, you're not going to be as nimble within the inside part of your hips as well. It's going to be very tight here, as well as very tight here. Okay, so when you're taking your steps, make sure that you're trying to stay away from this because of the challenge that you want to bring into your hip flexors. When you're going and you take each step right in front of the other, okay, that's going to put more challenge here to make sure that everything stays straight. It also works on your core and ensuring everything stays nice in the line. Okay, that's an important thing to understand when you're working on your ability to walk and have the right mechanics when you're walking. Okay. The next thing that we want to think about is each one of the steps and how our hips are swinging. We don't want to, I'm going to actually go the other way here. We don't want to allow our hips to be rotating it all side to side. Okay, so each one of my steps, I want to make it so I'm going right into hip extension here. You'll see now I'm on the outside part of my foot. You'll see the transition onto my left leg, okay? And now from here I'm going onto my big toe, getting into some internal rotation of this hip, landing on my right foot, allowing my weight to transfer onto this side, transitioning through, pushing off. Landing, feel my weight transfer over, pushing off. Okay, I'm overemphasizing here to really hone in on what you're supposed to be doing when you're walking. It's not supposed to be that much of like a, boom, boom, boom. But I think you get the point where it's supposed to be kind of the foot landing first. Make sure that you're not going and you're not twisting it all kind of side to side. That's kind of what you get when you get the pigeon toed, where you're not able to get good hip flexion. You're going to be trying to rotate too much. Okay, that's a big hip flexor issue. We want to make sure that each one of our steps are right in front of the other, very, very controlled, very, very stable within both that lateral plane. So we're shifting side to side, but not uncontrollable shift side to side, and also allowing the pelvis to be able to get plenty of flexion and extension, okay? Another important idea to make sure that you're doing, we can go from this side on this one, is when you land, you want to think about all of your weight being more in external rotation in your knee, lower body, just in general. Okay, so you're landing, all of your weight should be, knees should be outside, hips should be going outside, ankles should be going outside, and then you transition to internal rotation. Land in external rotation, transition to internal rotation. I see a lot of times people immediately land and they allow themselves to get into internal rotation, then they're fighting to get into external rotation in each one of their steps. Okay, this is not the right way to do it. Typically it's only one-sided, but that's going to increase your chance for injury by so much. It's like, you can't even, I can't explain enough or demand enough that you don't want to let that happen. Okay, so really think about when each one of your steps, ensuring that your knees and your ankles and your hips are staying in external rotation, and then as you transition, you get into internal rotation of the hip, and that's what really turns the glute on. So if you have any trouble, with your glute size or, your ability to activate within the glute, you can start working on that by each and every one of your steps, okay? So if you're not, if your glute is not turning on correctly, it's because there's something going on with your gait that's making it so you're not getting the right hip extension. You should be, feeling glute activation in each one of your steps. And again, the glute is going to do extension, so it's going to bring the leg back, and it's also going to do internal rotation. So it's going to kind of push the leg inside. Okay, and even if you do that, you feel how that glute turns on. So if you're landing, if you're pushing off, and when you're pushing off, you're getting into external rotation, you're not going to be turning on the glute. It will a little bit. There is some fibers that go into external rotation, but really it's internal rotation where you're going to get that good glute activation, and you're even going to get more extension by doing that. So very important thing to understand when you're pushing off and just better understanding gait. Wanted to give a quick video to just explain all the ins and outs of walking and what are the right ways to do it. So thanks for watching the video, guys. As always, we appreciate you guys being members, and we'll see you soon.